Bow! Hey guys, welcome to episode 40, season 3 of the weekly. And yes, we've got a few things to discuss. The topics are kind of light this week. It was heavy last week, and we're getting to that holiday period, so it will change from week to week. And of course, with me here is Mr. Warren Bowman from BW1. How's it going, man?
Yeah, what's going on, man? Let's do this.
All right. Mr. Juan Bagnell will not be joining us today. Yeah, he's predisposed, but Sam will be joining us again, of course, as usual, late. All right, let's get to the topics of the week. But before we do that, let's talk about some uselessness. And I am going to share my screen for this so you guys can see. Let's see if I can actually get the exact image, because we all know how. No, I have to do full screen, then I have to actually, so this is going to look weird, so I apologize. Start full screen, then I'm actually going to blow it up. There we go. All right. So during the week, basically November 1st, Razer posted this image on Twitter. You call yourself a pro, S my D. So basically, Razer was showing off the fact that the new Razer Pro has an SD card. And of course, this is shots fired towards Apple, because Apple doesn't have an SD card on the new MacBook Pro. And a lot of people have talked about that. Like even last week when we spoke about that, Soldier Knows Best was like, you know what, but why take out the SD card? I mean, like that's something, a lot of us pros use. You record with a camera, you want to pop an SD card. You don't want to have to look for a dongle. We're all happy it has 4 Thunderbolt ports. We applaud them for that. But this is one thing the pros want. And it's not there. So shots fired. This is Razer. What happened was I didn't actually take the screenshots of one of the people who commented about this and found this offensive. And people started complaining, and some people said, if this is what Razer would do, I won't buy their products. Some people started calling their products crappy, terrible, things like that. You know how Twitter runs. I mean, you guys understand. Yeah. So I'm going to basically stop this right here.
It's always a witch hunt.
Yes, so it's a witch hunt. And so that happened. And here's the uselessness. This is Razer challenging Apple. This has nothing to do with you personally. There's no personal statements. And you want to whine and complain about that. This is one company telling you that another company basically took out a feature that you most likely would use. So why not complain? I mean, I don't understand that. This is not a political statement. This is nothing that has to do with saving human lives or the protests going in North Dakota or the election. This simply is the fact that it's like basically Samsung calling out Apple, like they do all the time in their ads, right? When Samsung says your phone's not water resistant, finally Apple had to catch up. Or Samsung says you have no wireless charger, which Apple hasn't done. So Razer's doing the same thing, and people want to whine and complain. I'm not going to call anyone out. There are a bunch of people who did, so this is not about that. But this is just about the general process and thought process here of foolishness and pure uselessness. So, Warren, I just wanted to pass that over to you.
It's ridiculous. It's people getting mad about absolutely nothing other than consumer electronics. We are mad at inanimate objects going to battle at each other about nothing. It isn't directed towards people. It wasn't directed towards anyone other than Apple's laptop, and that came direct shot from Razer's laptop because they're competitors in that market. And then, as usual, somebody gets triggered, and they have to find a way to spin this around to push an agenda. And they use this for that particular reason. They could use Razer against that because it maybe not as prominently big in the consumer electronics space as some other people are. Had this have been maybe another company, they might not have been able to spin this in a way that people would have listened so much. But it's just kind of ridiculous, and you always have to watch out for those things when people are looking to make things something out of nothing, and then you read into it, you'll eventually find the agenda they're trying to push, and it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. It's one of those things that to me makes absolutely no sense at all. This is something where literally we're talking about a physical product. We're not talking about anyone attacking any other human being, and rightfully so. I mean, we attacked Apple last week by saying, hey, look, we like the fact that you did all these cool things, but bro, where's the SD card? You call this a Pro. If this was the MacBook Air, we get it. That is not a Pro device, right? That is a device that you want to take out. Yeah, we'll still complain, but you have an excuse there. This is a Pro device, and a competitor is calling you out, and people have to, complain and whine. This is just silliness. People need to grow up, and that's a problem we face just worldwide. It's like, we've come to this era where everybody wants to complain about something and hurts their feelings in ways that, may be true to them, but doesn't even apply to what they're complaining about. And sometimes we just need to understand that, look, if a company is calling out another company, that's what happens. It's called advertising. It's called business. It happens every day. We grew up with this, or maybe unless we grew up because we grew up in the in the 80s and 90s. So hey, I don't know. But anyway, let's move on. Let's move on because I could stay on this and just be frankly annoying. So this week, Huawei made their big announcement, and they announced the Mate 9, their latest smartphone on the market. The Mate 9 is follows the line with the Mate 8. Huawei also introduced a new Kirin 960 processor, which from the 950 we saw last year was really good processor. I mean, in-house performance was solid all the way through. So the 960 looks to take that step forward. They've also kind of bumped up their relationship with Leica, and they have a dual Leica camera. Interesting setup. One is a 20 megapixel monochrome camera. The other is a 12 megapixel RGB lens. So you've got some really different perspective there. Of course, there's laser focus and all that stuff in there. And it shows if you go into the camera app, you can see when you want to switch, how everything starts at 4:3, right? Mm-hmm. You go from 4:3 20 to 4:3 12. and then you move to 9 megapixels for 16:9. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'll be shooting everything in 4:3 at this point. So, but I want to get your thoughts on the Huawei's Mate 9. Now, Huawei said this is coming to the US. It looks like they might also be having a specific US launch, which is why they didn't announce US pricing. I'll just say from what I've heard is that they will have a specific US launch because they want to treat that with, I could say, as much care and respect as you can. So, Warren, what do you think about the Mate
9? Interesting, the device. It seems like they continued our success of the Mate 8 and pushed it a little bit further. Be really interesting to see how those cameras work and how that two sort of RGB and monochrome lenses and how that kind of combines to create a good picture along with it. That'll be interesting to see. It overall looks pretty good. Still disappointed about it. I believe this is still a 1080p display, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's a 1080p display with, that's one of the things that it's like, I mean, you have a very big battery here. It's a 4,000 milliamp battery.
Yeah.
So
you could change the game with a 4,000 milliamp hour battery and a 5.9 inch display.
Yes. I mean, to their credit, the display still looks good, but it's one of those things where it's now just a matter of like, okay, for this type of device, you should just have a 2K display. We're not saying your 1080p is bad. It's just that you're now at that level where it's like, okay, guys, come on.
Yeah, you can't pitch this as a flagship product and not be able to compete on the higher resolution screen side. Everyone's pretty much above 1080p these days, so for them to just still stay at that, it will always make it look a step back behind the rest of the competition.
Yeah, it will. I'm not necessarily so because the display is gorgeous. I'll show you right here. You can see the Wonder Woman poster, and it looks good, but it's a 1080p display. So some people looking to buy will kind of gauge and go, okay, it's got this. I know the processor is good, more RAM, blah, 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 1080p. You're going to get that. You're going to get that for something tuneless. But I see Sam has joined us here. How's it going, man?
Hey, what's going on?
All right. Thoughts on the Mate 9? I know you got to check it out. So what do you think about Huawei's launch? You see, already Raul says, man, no QHD display. Just saying, Huawei, QHD for your flagship.
I think they went kind of a very odd balance between function and pricing, and the screen was one of those things that actually got hit by that. because if you look at what it has in internals, it's pretty up there with some of the other, some of the better phones out there. It has an octa-core processor, has a pretty decent amount of RAM. I think it has about
it's four gigs of RAM.
4 gigs of RAM, yeah. And 64 gig storage. It's pretty much up there, even with the dual camera. So I think they spent more time on trying to smooth out what the EMUI 5.0 was. They had more time. They spent more time on the Kirin processor and the new Kirin processor to try to get you to a better gaming / functionality / usability, a user experience. And then the screen just wasn't the biggest focus. Now, I'm definitely a fan of having a QHD display, but I don't think it takes away from what you get on the device itself. But that's definitely an upgrade that needs to happen. The QHD display. Who knows? Maybe they'll come out with a version that has a QHD display shortly. But yeah, it's a lot of people are gonna hold back a little bit.
Yeah, and that's the thing though, because I was hoping at least even the Porsche design, which is the more expensive one. Which that's the one that does have the QHD display. I was just checking. I was about to almost say it didn't, but it does have the QHD display, and it is an AMOLED display. The regular Mate 9, just to cross-check again.
The regular Mate 9 has a 1080p. It's 1080 by 1920.
But I just want to see if it's an AMOLED display or IPS. So
this it's an AMOLED
IPS.
as well.
No, IPS. The regular is an IPS.
It's an IPS display.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is. You're right. It is an IPS.
QHD is AMOLED.
AMOLED.
Yeah. So it's that kind of process, and the pricing difference between the regular and the Porsche design is one is 1,399 euros.
Yeah, the other is 600 something.
699 euros. So. That's where it is. I mean, we'll have to see how it plays. Like as a device, I think Huawei has put a lot there where it feels solid all the way through. It's just on the buyer side when people are looking to buy. When you start looking at the different aspects, like you said, Sam, some people might go, just a little bit. Yeah. We'll see what they do with the US offering. Maybe they might make a change there. And change it up because they will have a US launch for this device. So maybe that's something where they'll go, come to US, we kind of blended both some of the Porsche design with the QHD display and put that together. All right. I wanted to go back on this, Sam, because we're all gamers here, and this is the uselessness of the week because I need to get your thoughts on this. So earlier this week on November 1st, Razer put up this image, and some people started complaining about this. So I am going to first share my screen. You can take a look and give your thoughts.
Okay.
So yeah, Razer put this out, and there's a dig at Apple, and some people complained that this was offensive. Literally, there were quite a few people out there who complained that was offensive. Some people even stated it was sexist to some degree. I don't know how. I don't know how your brain starts going that way. But your thoughts.
When you have to justify spending thousands of dollars on a subpar product just because it carries a bitten fruit on it, you will be pissed off at anything. You spent enough money to justify being pissed off at anything. That could simply have just been showing the port without an SD card in there, and it would have been labeled the chauvinistic pig evil devil of PCs. People are just angry when basically it gets pointed out that they get triggered when it gets pointed out that maybe their spending or maybe the company in which they hold in such high regard does not have it's not a consumer focused company, at least not anymore. So yes, it is a uselessness. It is a pure unadulterated uselessness.
High level uselessness.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I just wanted to get your thoughts on that before we moved on, just because it's one of those things where it just came out of nowhere. I saw it and I was like, that's funny. And then, Warren's like, "Oh, did you see the comments?" I was like, well, "What? It was funny. I mean, this makes perfect sense." And
people started, I'm mad.
A lot of people started
pushing agenda.
Yeah,
I'm mad and I'm not going to take it anymore.
I got to push my agenda.
All right, so let's move on to our next topic here. So, our favorite tipster, Evan Blass, who is the most accurate tipster out there for any device, posted this. He says, what was his exact quote? He said, "Powered by a laptop class Intel processor, would this have blown your mind?" So this, people are like, "Well, is this the Surface phone or something like that?" And Tom Warren, I guess Tom Warren asked him if this was real, and he stated that this is more than a concept. Stay tuned, because these are supposedly actual images from said device right here.
Yeah.
So thoughts on this Surface phone, because I don't think it's from Microsoft, but I think it's from someone else. What do you guys think? Because it looks like there's a phone, there might be a companion device with it, or is it just that guy just holding a laptop mock-up? Because that does not look like any laptop I know.
What's that laptop?
Yeah, that looks like something.
Well, it looks like the Lenovo one. It looks like the little Lenovo one with the
it looks like
with the keyboard screen with the two screens. The book.
Yeah,
well,
yeah, I mean, it looks like a Dell Infinity display, but I don't know what device that is. But we can see here some more photos just of the device in general and use case. So thoughts, what do you guys think?
It won't be Microsoft.
It could be Microsoft. Well, the thing is, it could be Microsoft. It has, for some reason, it just reminds me, when I saw the initial photos, it kind of reminds me of the, what's it called? The Zune HD, like the black Zune HD. It just has that feel to it, where it's almost slate.
Don't do that, man. Don't bring back memories, man. Don't tease me like that, bro.
It kind of has that feel to it, but at the end of the day,
talking on my heartstrings.
No, you will not make me feel. You will not make me feel.
No feels for me. No feels for me.
Yeah, but if this is an actual phone, it might mean that maybe Windows is investing in, it's investing, time and effort into third-party development, kind of like the now defunct Google Nexus program. Maybe it's getting people to design phones based on a new OS that we haven't seen. So it's hopeful. I would like to get my hands on it and know more about it.
Warren?
No. That's all I have to say to this. I'm like, who cares? It's a Windows phone. No one will buy. It will look cool for 5 seconds and not work the way anybody wants it to. And no one will care. I mean, that's just the way it's going to work. I mean, they don't care about smartphones. If they did, this thing would have got announced with the Surface Studio while everybody was a buzz. When is this thing going to get announced? Sometime next year, around when Samsung's announcing things, no one's going to care. They around MWC, I don't give a damn how many things Samsung's blown up. They're still Samsung.
They are still Samsung.
And there's going to be too many other people around. Like, what are you going to MWC? We're going to announce our new Windows phone. Meanwhile, Samsung announces the S8 that basically can summon Thor with one fucking button or something like that. and then you're going to have LG put out their G6. It's like, we're sorry, we fucked up. Here's a normal phone. And then HTC will just put out the 11 because these go to 11. And then where the hell does that put Microsoft's Windows phone?
Yeah, I mean, the thing about it is just that there always is a way to resolve Windows Phone, but it's not about the way.
They've exhausted all points of that.
You missed my point. It's not the way. It's not the software. It's the company. Because literally, still, if Microsoft came up with something truly revolutionary that is PC in my pocket, that works seamlessly, balanced, it's fine and dandy if Microsoft pushes it, but Microsoft won't. That's the problem there. That's the main problem. It's not really the software or whatever they do in terms of a product, right? It's the fact that we know clearly well they don't care, like you said, Warren, they don't care about phones. Because if they did, they still would be in this space.
Yeah,
that's just the truth. I mean, even with Windows 8.1, Windows 10, they still, because again, Microsoft has shown before that they can pump money to push into a market. It's called Xbox. You remember how the Xbox started? PC parts together. And look at where it is now. So we know very well that they can easily do that, but the company's focus has shifted. And the only reason why we still have devices from the Surface line is because maybe AK1 panels is still pushing hard, and two, that division is making money. That's literally it.
I think the division is making money, and I think that's the last legacy of Ballmer. So I don't think Microsoft's really attuned to messing with that because he's still on the damn chair. So
yeah, and
I think that's something he was told: you don't touch that, you don't touch Surface, you don't touch Xbox.
Yeah, and those are the ones making money
because
sorry, go ahead.
He hasn't come out with any real new hardware. Yeah, you can say maybe the studio's new hardware, but that's part of the Surface line.
Yeah, there's nothing else out of that, and it's the same line it's producing. Yeah,
exactly. Give me a new webcam, damn it.
Oh boy, they jacked up the last one.
Yeah, think about it too.
Can give me a new band?
Think about it. Microsoft accessories.
Not gonna happen.
Band is dead. But think about PC accessories. Microsoft used to always make new keyboards, new webcams, new mice, just naturally. Like they didn't make big press announcements, but we knew good products. Yeah, they were good products. We're like, oh yeah, and people would buy it because you go to the store, and even like a Best Buy, somebody was like, I want to pick, like, just get the Microsoft keyboard and mouse. Like, you're good. Like, you don't need anything crazy. This will do it for you exactly what you want. Get the Microsoft webcam. The webcam was one of the best for a while until Logitech just upped again with the 920 series.
Yeah, and Logitech has not updated that 920 series.
No, they did. They just did 922.
They just did? Okay.
Yeah.
Because it was a while before they updated that. So that was a beautiful webcam.
Yeah. So those are the kind of things that Microsoft did well that you're not doing. And to your point, again, like I can really see them doing something interesting with Windows, where on a phone you have a PC, but it's still a phone and all that stuff. But we never will see it. Like, I'm sure somebody has dreamt it and probably has worked on it at Microsoft. Remember when we had the rumors of a Surface phone that they called the Panos phone?
Yeah.
I won't be surprised they probably had that almost done to snuff.
The problem is that personal computing has already been done. Your smartphone does that. It's just a different way of interacting with it. But anything you can imaginably do that a full PC like Microsoft would offer with a Surface phone, what it was offering with the Lumia 950 can already be done on an Android phone, and maybe just a different interface in a bit of a different way, but it's there already. So they're not offering anything that's like stunningly new until they can show us like, hey, if you put this PC in your pocket, not only does it do all these phone functionalities, but you can whip it out anytime and you can do some nice gaming, or you can do some editing, and you're getting this full-blown experience. If you're not getting any of that, they're not inventing anything. Everyone's already found the workarounds to get around what they want to do.
I definitely agree. That's what I'm saying. That's probably what I think either that Surface group was trying to achieve, was trying to say, because remember, the idea of Surface group, at least from the way Panos explains it, was always, we're trying to disrupt. Surface disrupted, even the studio to a certain degree has disrupted that whole idea of an all-in-one PC. Now you're going to see next year HP has going to up their game. Dell will have to up their game and show us something else different that at least is like, oh yeah, okay, I can see this is more attractive. This is something that people will buy. And maybe that was the mission. And then, we know our CEO likes to go software side, and he just said no. That's why I see with Microsoft. So I definitely agree with you. I just think that the company itself is the one that just says, we don't care. I mean, when Lenovo says Microsoft is not serious with Windows phones, your number one OEM, right? Number one PC manufacturer says you're just not serious.
Yeah. Well, the thing is simply this, like, PCs have, I think, already eclipsed, phones already eclipsed PCs as being one of the, the easiest way to consume content and also do your computing on the go.
Yeah.
So if Microsoft wants to be in that market, they have to have hardware.
Yeah.
And, with a phone like this, that's sexy, that looks good, that's thin, it might just be that Microsoft realizes there's not an OEM to make this for them. Or it might just be the Surface is really putting the Surface phone out there. But at the end of the day, Microsoft needs to do more to get
Than
itself into
software.
people's hands. Yeah, it needs to do more than software. It's hard. It needs to have hardware that people can actually get a hold of to use this new features like Cortana and whatnot. Because even look at the Xbox, you no longer have the Kinect. The most natural progression of that would have been to use your phone to talk to your Xbox. But you can't even do that because you don't have a Microsoft hardware. That's something that a Microsoft hardware would have been uniquely placed to do. So it's one of those things. It's like they're living a gap there that everyone else has kind of filled. Google has its assistants on its phone. Apple has Siri on its phone. You have a device that has Alexa on it. What is the Microsoft default, like, assistance device or AI device? We don't have one.
Yeah, I mean, Microsoft will tell you, yeah, PCs, but that's stationary. That's something that doesn't go with you. And Alexa takes that jump because it's within your home. It's anywhere within. It's still mobile within your home. You can move the speaker anywhere you want. I ain't gonna move my monitor and my rig just because I want to use Cortana in my bedroom. No, and that's the thing. That's where I think the company, you're definitely right, Sam. They need to realize that they are leaving something off the table. You've lost the smartphone market, right? You've conceded it in the worst way. You haven't even done, at least, let's give BlackBerry props, man. Well, BlackBerry says we're done. No, I'm just saying they at least said we're done. They tried, they failed, they messed up, and now they said, here are our last two devices. Microsoft hasn't even hinted. They just kind of like,
And also, by the way, Cortana on Xbox is not the funnest thing to use.
Yeah,
it's not natural speech, and she gets a lot of things that she doesn't understand, and you can't, for whatever reason, switch back. Like on the new Xbox, you can't. You have the option to switch between the regular commands and the Cortana ones. When you're on the Xbox One S, it's the Cortana ones only, and it's kind of annoying now.
Oh, hopefully it gets an update because PC Cortana is on point.
Yeah, she's pretty
I
good.
don't understand how the Xbox. Maybe just they haven't done an update. But it's not even the Xbox. To me, it's the fact that this is almost a question here. It's that Microsoft has decided to do a reverse in the sense that, okay, they said we want to be software focused for everyone, which is great. That AKA means Google, right? Google has been software on everywhere they can, especially for their products. Except Google also has been pushing hardware first through OEMs. They're supporting Samsung, they're supporting everybody through the Nexus program. And now we have Google giving us a suite of software. Google has attacked the home with 3 pieces of software: phone, speaker with an assistant, and Wi-Fi. Basically, locking you down into an ecosystem like that with one launch.
Let me just bring this up as a side thought, though, so we can move on from this point. With them launching the Chrome browser is another way that you get into their ecosystem, because Chrome is mainly their way of getting an OS within an OS.
Yeah.
Microsoft sits very comfortably on something because, in the end of the day, their OS runs the world. It doesn't take much, but somebody with some sense at Google to recognize that, want to push into that, and if they ever decide, which I actually believe they will not do, if they ever decide to drop a full-blown operating system out there, they can get the same support as Windows has on all the software and hardware out there, and they drop it as, well, most likely for them it'd be free, or like something like $25, like it's a Chromecast or something. And if they drop that out there, they're in serious trouble at that point. And they don't, and I think they don't recognize that because there's nobody challenging and poking them on that front. I think if they got poked around a little bit, similar to how Apple poked them around for a little bit with MacBooks and Mac OS, but that had kind of changed a bit over as we started moving away from laptops and desktops as primary computing devices, going more into smartphones and tablets instead. But it only takes one person to say, hey, let's go buy Ubuntu, slap all our Google stuff on it, make sure all Adobe and all that stuff works on it, and make sure NVIDIA makes drivers for us, and let's just roll this out for free and see what happens.
No, definitely.
It's a stone's throw away, and I almost want it to happen because I feel like it would get Microsoft out of their ass, get their head out of their ass, and realize they can't sit back and think they're comfortable here just because they rolled out Windows 10 and a bunch of people that you're mostly forced to update. are just going to sit back and just want that. Trust me, if Google said we're putting on an operating system, you guarantee Dell, Lenovo, and HP are going to go, oh, really? It's time to make some new laptops. They want that competition.
And that's the thing that I find, I mean, okay, the good part to a certain degree is, okay, you know, Microsoft announced that, yeah, they're doing VR headsets with their OEMs, but I'm going, you've had these OEMs for a while. No, wait.
What is yours?
Wait.
Like,
No, but it's not even that. It doesn't have to be theirs. This is where they make some mistakes. There are certain pieces of third-party accessory hardware outside Windows that you can do a Nexus-style program with your OEMs and build and make it a much larger Microsoft ecosystem, as long as everything is powered by Windows. You know, you could have whoever has, okay, HP now works with Bang & Olufsen. Start making better speakers, throw a Cortana in that, push HP with that speaker system out, and have people have that. Have Dell do something else, but use your OEMs. I mean, you have them there and say, okay, fine, we're going to help you build this, and we will provide support and we'll push this. And when we announce, we have a big press conference, we show Surface, we show the HP speaker, we show that, and we push it out just the same way Google pushes out all their stuff, and we say, guys, go review this and do this thing. So you don't have to build it. You have OEMs who want to, and that increases the Microsoft ecosystem. And yet again, we're now giving them advice that they don't. I mean, seriously, we need to start a consulting firm. Forget this.
Yeah, we can start one. Our fees are just free because we give stuff away.
Well, the sad thing is that they probably have people within their companies saying very similar stuff that we're saying, and they're just flat out choosing not to listen to it. I mean, that's the sad part. You know, I'm not saying that we're not brilliant in our own rights here and making some great ideas, but what worries me so much is that they don't hire dummies, and there's probably people there that are coming with these ideas.
Oh yeah.
Well, no. You see, the thing is we're not saying they're hiring dummies, or we're not saying that the people they have aren't good enough. What we're saying is basically this company is so insular, they probably need new talents.
But I think
not talent. They need better mid-tier to up-tier management, because the talent in Microsoft is there. I mean,
no, I'm saying the thing is, when you're so insular, you need new blood.
Oh, from outside,
because everyone is thinking the same way.
Yeah,
everyone is towing that Satya Nadella line right now, which is they want to be a software-focused, enterprise-focused company. Everyone knows that was at its core. That's what really made Windows, a name, right? So there's that tradition there already. You need to bring someone from outside who doesn't have that view of Windows, and he needs to be either on the board or be an exec in the company.
Or
so to get new thinking.
Moved up. Yeah, Panos needs to be moved up.
Put Panos on the board. I mean, it all depends on how the rest of the board will react to that. I mean, in pushing certain things or somebody from outside. But I definitely agree. I think actually a two-shot. You need somebody from outside and on the board and Panos on the board. So you have a stronger voice of saying, look, we need to create an ecosystem, because there really is no Microsoft ecosystem. I mean, yeah, there's a Windows ecosystem, but there's no Microsoft ecosystem. It's two different things. Windows has an ecosystem of its own. Microsoft does not at all. I mean, we know that from the fact that it took forever for the Xbox to talk to the PC, right? It took forever for us to stream gaming. We still cannot stream games externally, which makes no sense. PlayStation, I mean, I'm sorry, but PlayStation does that. I cannot travel to the West Coast and stream games from my Xbox. I can on my PlayStation. That says a lot. That, to me, we have Xbox anywhere, but you have to download the game. And if I'm downloading on my Surface, I can't play Gears of War on my Surface. No, thing won't run it. I can't play, but I could stream Uncharted to my Surface from my PlayStation 4. I mean, so those are the kind of things that they need to do. They need to create that ecosystem with their products. But right now, their set products are only two: Surface line and the Xbox line. And there's nothing more than people looking at it being as gaming and productivity. It's not lifestyle. It's not like I carry it everywhere with me. And on that note, I'm going to switch gears to the Alcatel Windows Phone. Yay! Look at that segue. That was on point. Clap for me, somebody. Never mind. Anyway, Alcatel announced the Windows Phone.
Said Windows Phone. And moving on.
It looks exactly. It's Alcatel Windows 4S. It looks just exactly like the regular Alcatel 4S in terms of design and look. I can't give you review or thoughts. I can show you the phone because we still have an embargo on that. But here's the device here, and it does have VR functionality. I am just wondering, for Alcatel's part, is this a last push because they already had these things in the pipeline and said, look, we might as well put this out, or is this something? Thank you, iMac Tech. He clapped for me digitally. I appreciate that. I really do. But yeah, so what do you think? I mean, like, to me, it almost makes it's just so disconnected, especially like Alcatel's pushing this out. We're not hearing anything from Microsoft about Windows Phone. And any thoughts?
Samsung's washers.
Oh yeah, we'll get to that.
That's my thoughts. Is like, I think we've said all we could say.
Yeah,
there isn't any more to say.
Yeah. I'll give you guys a full review. Check it out on the channel. It's a nice device. Alcatel makes some really nice devices, especially the new ones. So definitely on point. Samsung, man, having a rough year, man. They had to recall 2.8 million washers and dryers for.
Yeah.
Guess it.
Which makes them. I'm telling you that type of stuff could finish. That probably finished them in appliances.
Nah, it won't finish them in appliances, but it's gonna ding them really, really bad.
I think so.
As manufacturers, it's a little embarrassing.
They'll be relaunching their whole appliance brand like it's brand new again. Bruce.
Yeah, they will. I mean,
the
bright spot for them in appliances this year is the fridge was well received. It was expensive, but it was well received. Yeah. They're washing the dryers. They've also had a hard issue trying to even get to them. LG's owned that market. Yeah. Remember we saw the LG washer and dryer, Sam?
Oh, that was
they had the beautiful washer and dryer. But get this, guys. They had a washer and dryer. They showed the American version and they showed the European version. The European version looked so sleek, had touch screen, simple functionality. I mean, simple controls. Go to the American. So this is the European, right? The European was this size. This is an LG event. This is European.
Which LG event? The LG at CES?
No. This is
no. New York.
A few years ago. This is the European version. Simple. You just see Battlefield. Nice controls. This is the American. Bam! Right here. Lots of stuff, logos everywhere. It was huge. It was 3 times the size.
It was intimidating.
Yeah, I turned around. I looked.
It looked like something an alien dropped from the sky that was going to take over the world. It was intimidating.
Yeah, the funny thing is that we asked the lady who was just demoing the European version, and she's like, "Yeah, it's easy controls." And we turn around and look. We're like, "I'm afraid of going there." She's like, "Why?" I'm like, I don't know what button to press. And that's the thing. The European one had touchscreen. The American one had like all the buttons you find on the washer and dryer. And literally there were at least maybe 20 button controls. And I was like, I would never use this because I don't even know what I'm doing.
Yeah. Well, that's not uncommon. That's the difference between markets because everybody in America likes to see buttons. That's kind of the reason why it's that way. It's more of a American preference versus other countries that have much simpler controls and be able to navigate through. You'd have to retrain everyone on a panel to get them to get to the same cycles. It's such an American thing. It's ridiculous. And because I believe LG actually released an LCD, kind of a touchscreen based one some years ago in the US, but it wasn't popular because people couldn't figure it out. And that's because they didn't have all these flashy knobs and buttons and
I think
blah,
people
stuff
will figure
like
it out
that.
Now, though, especially with cell phones.
But Samsung can make a new washer, and all it has is a little small door in it in case you forget some shit, and everybody goes freaking nuts. I mean, think about it. I was like, I remember when they announced that, and I was like, everybody's around like they just created some new innovation. Like,
no, but remember, LG had the instant cooler that cools your beer in like 2 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I was like, yo, that's a dope announcement. Beer is 2 minutes, wine chilled in 3 or something like that.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, this is for the Americans right here.
LG is one of those things. Like on their, I've been a big proponent of their appliances for a while, and they've always been very, very, very good and very innovative on that side of the brand. Mind you, some reason doesn't tend to go over to where the phones are. If you ask, certain people in this hangout about that, but
I know what you're talking about.
But the TV and their appliances tend to take those type of cool risks and stuff like that, and they tend not to blow up.
Sam is laughing about TV. I have some thoughts on the LG TV. So I have
not that one.
Yeah, I have the E series here, which review should drop next week. In terms of hardware, in terms of technology, it's really, really good. But I have to state this because Sam helped me set it up, and we were afraid we were going to destroy the TV. I kid you not. Yeah. Like Sam came, we picked up. I had the Samsung TV up. We picked that up and just put it on the side. Like it was moved, done.
It's because of that space thing that they have.
And then in the LG TV, we picked it up, we took it out of the box, and we're like, whoa. Okay, it's a very thin TV, but the process was just giant. It took a minute and a half.
And it's a bit heavier because it's glass mostly on that one too.
Yeah,
right?
But it's not really that.
It's not heavy. It's
not even the issue.
The base is. It's one of the things we set it up, and then it literally Sam put his finger like this on the TV, and he just went. We're like, do not try and clean this thing. You have to hold it in gently. It's one of those things where you're like, okay, I like the TV, but come on, guys, like your finish needs to be better. You need to do more with this.
It's almost like getting a freaking German car, but still being afraid that the wheels are going to pop off because it's not ratcheted in there well enough. It's ridiculous. I think this is a TV I was actually. This is the same.
This is the one you wanted to buy.
I was looking to get. It was either this or the 9000 series or the 9000 from Samsung, and I was really optimistic about it, but once I finally saw that device, I'm glad I went with the Samsung instead, because it's just the picture quality is awesome. The functionality, in my opinion, is probably one of the best in the market. But then you put everything together and it just wobbles a little bit, and I'm like, if you don't tell your cleaning person about this, your cleaning person might inadvertently break the TV by attempting to clean it because they just tip it over. It's not solid. It doesn't feel solid.
See, it seems like that's a year of just engineering design sort of miscues. The entire year, it seems, for LG and some things, and hopefully next year they'll pick that up, because really they're the only OLED provider you can get for a TV right now.
Oh yeah, and the pictures are amazing.
If you want the best picture quality, possible right now. That's your opinion, E. That's your opinion.
What do you mean?
No.
I think it has the best pictures right now because the darks are just amazingly dark.
Yeah, but when it gets to brights, it just not handle well at all. I have seen. I've tried out.
It's been fine.
I've tried out just bright scenes, and it does, because it's 600 nits. I trust me. I was the one who started OLED, saying OLED is the best, and I still believe it's the best for gaming and for a lot of things. But there's certain aspects because of HDR. They're the ones pushing HDR with Dolby, and Dolby Vision goes to about 2,000 nits or something. It can't even reach 600. So I find it really odd. I'm like, the person you partner with does like X amount more. So it's that kind of thing. Because even when I spoke to LG about it, they were like, we're trying to get our TVs brighter. It's just very difficult with OLED. So they know it too. But when you're talking about darks, if you're watching anything dark, like I said, a Batman movie, Daredevil, it is priceless. It is absolutely priceless for that kind of stuff. And gaming with it at night, it's a beauty. Definitely is. So anyway, we'll see. Anything else we missed this week, because we were light on topics? We can answer some questions. Kashif said Thunder E has butterfingers, just because I don't want to break it. I don't own the TV, man. This thing comes from LG. It goes back to LG. So if I break it, it won't happen. So what's Huawei smartphone is better, the Honor 8 or the Mate 9? I think it all depends on size. If you want a small device, the Honor 8 is fantastic. It's a really good phone overall, but if you want something small at 5 inches, that goes for you.
But I'd also say the Mate line is also the flagship line. So when you go Honor is not really, they don't even want you to really associate Honor with Huawei. Honor is a whole nother thing that you're doing.
Except when this one started getting good reviews.
Oh, exactly. True.
When this one started getting like good reviews from everybody, they're like, yeah, we make this too.
That's true. No. But if you look at the Honor strategy is more online and whatnot. But I'll just say, yes, like you said, it depends on what you're looking for. But the Mate 9 is more of the flagship phone. So if you're looking for their best, it would be the Mate 9. If you're looking for something more in the less pricey mid-range, I would say is the Honor 8.
Yeah, because the Honor 8 is $300. So
yeah.
I think I could be wrong, but I'll just say it's $300.
No, it is cheaper. I don't know how much cheaper, but it is.
Bradley says Samsung in 2016 will be remembered as the year they exploded into the market.
Yeah, that was a good pun. That was a good pun.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. We'll see what Samsung does next year, but a lot of people are going to get fired from a lot of divisions.
Oh yeah,
all
kinds of firing.
I mean,
and it might be that Samsung actually reinstates a true QA user kind of experience again, because this lack of of QA when they're just doing it mostly internally, this is bad.
You'd be surprised.
You've seen what happens.
Yeah, you're surprised a lot of companies do that internal. I mean, yes, doing internal QA is, but you need to have a third party outside who comes in to do your final QA assessment to say, okay, this is ready to go out. Anything else we missed this week, guys? Any topics or questions?
Abduction.
Oh yeah, sorry, I almost forgot about that. Although there's one question: what do you think about the EMUI? It's cleaner. I just don't like the fact that people are taking out app trays, man.
Yeah.
I mean, LG doesn't have one. If I'm not mistaken, right?
You can
choose to add it. You can choose to add the app tray back.
Why do I have to choose
you can put it back
to
in? No, by default, they've taken it out, but you can choose to have it back in there.
How do I do it? Because I since I got in and I was like,
hold down, home screen options. Hold down, go to home screen options. And then you'll see it, right?
Oh, settings. I guess.
When we were in China, so we had a conversation with the designers of the EMUI. So we had the UI designers or the UX designers there, and I think the big thing that they had was simply that they were focused more on making your interaction with EMUI 5 a lot more natural. And when we got to see, the phone, when we got to hold the phone, it does translate. They have done a great job of making your interaction with the device a little bit more natural. They don't want you to actually have to jump to a locker. They want you to do the swipes, not press buttons. It's more fluid, more natural. So that's the idea behind the whole removal of, or should I say, the default option not being lockers. But I think it did a good job. I think it has a long way to go to be, similar to what Samsung would offer or what even LG would offer. But it is a maturing user interface.
Don't like it. After Sam said all that and gave all this platitude, just like,
don't like it.
Like, no, don't like it. No. Oh,
there is a few things that can be.
I should have just said wrong.
They are trying a few things. If you notice, I think they took out the what was it? The knock, or does it still have the knock on this one?
I don't know. Let me see.
Oh no, actually it was what they call the 3D touch or whatever it is, the hard pressing, whatever. They took a few of those features out. So they are trying to figure out what works on that on the EMUI 5.0. So
Link 057 says stock Android. Stock Android is not loved by everyone. That's the thing. It really isn't.
Especially when the design language has changed from Material to whatever it is right now.
Well, it's Pixel UI. I mean, it actually is a little bit better than stock Android in terms of just navigating around. But stock Android isn't, like I said, necessarily for everyone. So there has to be some variety out there for folks to be able to choose from. So
as long as your variety is simple enough for people to grab and use, and I think that's fine. The V20 just shocked me when I initially I was just like, there's no
Yeah.
I was like, well, I'm not doing a review, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, just skip through. I was going to mention something. Yeah, the Pixel adoption. So Pixel is outpacing the Nexus 6P in adoption rates, which is a good thing for Google. It seems like this device has really resonated with people to buy on some level. So any thoughts on that? Do you think it's good? Do you think this is also, do you think the Note 7 not being around has helped?
No, I think it's mostly because Google decided to advertise this phone because it's their damn phone, and they didn't want to advertise Nexus and others because it wasn't necessarily their branding on the whole thing. They actually now, because their name is on it, they actually have to spend money and advertise and shoot a bunch of ads out there about the phone, so people have more awareness of it, that it exists, and it helps the fact that it's on Verizon. So I think those two things allow it to be a much better. In terms of why its adoption rate is faster. If this would have gotten the same, if the Nexus 6P would have gotten the same thing, that phone would have blown up in the same way. But because Google didn't have their name on it necessarily per se, they didn't give it the same love.
I agree, but I also think that the lack of a Note 7, the lack of the true king, the king is missing. That's why all these jesters are running around thinking they can take the crown.
Yep, the king is dead. Long live the king.
Yes, but the prince will rise again next year, and he shall take his father's throne, and he shall rule.
Okay, let's move on.
Sorry. I sound like
he was going at it like he shall rule.
Samsung didn't pay me for that at all. Just let you guys know.
I don't know where he's going with this.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of rumors on the S8, and the S8 has to over-deliver. Has to over-deliver.
Yeah.
I mean,
and they have to come out with a Pro version that is literally the replacement of the Note, because they cannot have a year when you take probably your most innovative phone out of the market and leave everyone able to catch up. If I was them, I would take out what's it called, I would basically fix the issues, the production issues with the Note 7, do a relaunch, be it a soft relaunch, and at MWC, naming it whatever, the 7 Pro, knowing that you're probably going to have a 8 Pro released later on that year, or just release the 8 Pro and totally say, hey, guess what? We're no longer going to be releasing phones at IFA. End of story. But they need to release a Note replacement as quickly as possible.
Oh yeah,
that was the problem the first time.
Yeah, but now it needs to be more so. They need to do it to save that line.
It's too late right now. They need to focus on the S8 and maybe get the Pro version of that out. And that's the 2 flagship phones this year. And then maybe later in the year we'll see something different. Maybe something that's only internationally released or something.
No, I think you're right. We're gonna see the S8. We're gonna see the S8 Pro. We're going to see a phone with either 90 to 80% display to body ratio, kind of what we saw with Xiaomi, with their Xiaomi Mi Mix, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sam, you're clicking over there.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, we can hear it. Thank you. Yeah, it's so we're going to see a device like that will have almost zero space on the body. Just all that will be there will be the button and then probably front-facing camera on the top. That's pretty much it. Does the Xiaomi one have a front-facing camera or no?
I believe it does.
Yeah.
I don't know how you can make a phone without one.
I know. But
if you don't have a front-facing camera, people won't buy your phone.
Yeah, people won't buy. Yeah, true. People won't buy your phone at all.
They can't take selfies with it. This is useless.
Yeah.
Gotta have a little dot.
AGB 2306 says, what about the RCS announcement from Google partnering with Sprint? I didn't hear.
Oh, I think their SMS is now using, instead of that crappy PCS nonsense they've been using for years, they're using the rich communication service that Google set up with their messaging application.
Okay.
So I think that's
it's just basically all the ISPs have been having issues implementing RCS as a way to replace SMS. Now, Google has the whole platform, has set up the platform, actually bought into the platform with the acquisition of Jabba.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, they're basically giving basically your service providers a way of getting away from SMS and into something more modern. And Google is trying to be that backbone for it. Hopefully it works out. And I think this is actually a very interesting way for Google to kind of subvert the whole SMS or messaging markets without everyone really paying attention. But it's not just with Sprint. It's going to be with everyone. It's not an exclusivity thing.
Let me help break a myth here for everyone. Everything tech says hopefully the next phone from Samsung won't blow up. Honestly, the amount of phones that probably would have blown up will be small. But because it is a cell phone and because we have a market that, yes, if your phone blows up, it's going to be a big deal. Let's just be honest. Car manufacturers have it worse. There's so many cars, the amount of cars that have issues. The GM is a pro at that. GM will have engine failures where the cars will stop on the middle of the road on a highway. It's more dangerous than your phone blowing up. And they will recall it, and everybody's like, yeah, it's another car recall.
Yeah, but when you have your phone in your pocket and it lights on fire and gives you severe burns, that's kind of dangerous.
Yeah, true. I mean, you drop your pants off quickly, man. Just saying.
Quick release valves. That's what we have for our pants. We have quick release valves for our pants.
But yeah, I do agree with everything tech. I wish most smartphone manufacturers would add IP67, IP68 and dust resistant. I think that should be standard now for any manufacturer. If you're making a high-end phone, that should be the case in point. That's something you need to do for a high-end device. That puts you back in the talking of say, okay, fine, yeah, I'm buying something premium because this year has proven that premium does not mean specs. We've got low-end, we've got mid-tier phones in terms of mid-tier pricing that have the same specs as a high-end device. So it has nothing to do with that at all. It has to do with the extra features you add into it. And that's what it is. All right, I believe that is pretty much it for this week, guys. Thank you very much. We started late, we're ending early. And at this point, we get to the part of the show where we tell you what we have on our channels currently and what we can expect next week. And starting off with you, Mr. Warren Bowman.
Why always me?
Because it's you. There's no Warren here.
Well, at least you didn't get it wrong. Juan and Warren, you actually pronounced those properly.
Warren.
Just call him Warren G.
So this week I have up. I posted up some stuff about the Huawei Fit. We didn't really talk too much about that, but that also got announced along with the Mate 8, their new smart fitness band. Right here, this thing here. It's about $129. Been putting it through its paces. We'll have a review up soon. Hopefully soon on that. I also have another video up about why can't I remember it off the top of my head? What? Okay.
Sounds like a very interesting video.
Yeah. Next week we'll have more stuff. See, it's easier when I just say stuff. See, much easier. But I unboxed the Le Pro 3, the new flagship smartphone coming from Chinese company Le. You want to call them Leeco, but it's Leeco.
I know it is.
And Leeco sounds so much better. But they used to be called Le TV, literally earlier this year. Literally a CES earlier this year. And I have an unboxing of that. And then next week we'll have that, reviews, and stuff. We're just going to say stuff from now on. Stuff. Yes, that's iMyTech. That's why I say stuff.
All right. On our end, I want to let you know Sam has another video up on the channel.
Lies.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. It's not
lies, I tell you.
It's not lies. It's not lies. Sam has the Braggy Dash video
Braggy
up,
Dash,
which is a wireless earbud. So you can check that out. We are also doing a video, which we should be finishing today because Sam is going to be coming over right after this.
Don't say we're going to be finishing it today. We are working on a video. I don't know if we're going to be able to finish it today, dude. What we're trying to do might take more than a day. It's going to be done in a couple of hours. I already set it up, dude. I have stuff to do. You just need to finish it. I have pedicure appointments I got to make, man.
Somehow this is going to get done in about a month from now.
No, it can't get it.
No. It should be done sooner.
It has to be up before tomorrow, by Sunday. Literally has to be.
Oh shit, that is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll
figure something out.
You see it. You see that. Don't worry. Look at us hashing out schedules here online. Like, no. It has to be done. It has to be done. But on the channel also, we have our unboxing of the Mate 9. Again, I want to thank Mr. Danny Wingate and the Galaxy S7 Edge for his handiwork and also recording, because I didn't bring my camera, and that was recorded with the S7 Edge. That's a really good camera.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, and then we also have our headphone review from V-Motor, Best Tech on the 50, as well as the MSI GS73 VR gaming laptop. And also we did some coverage on the AT&T LG V20, so definitely check that out too. And we have a reaction video from Wonder Woman official trailer. And next week, Lee
Echo.
I was gonna say.
I'm telling you, they should. They really
like,
should be called Late Echo. Like, it just sounds better. But they say Late Eco, and you look at it, and I'm like, there's nothing in their naming that would make me say Eco. It just doesn't work.
Yeah. So the Echo, Mate 9 possibly, but also I have a gaming rig from Razer. The review will be going up next week, and also our Astro 850 wireless headset that will be up next week. Some of the phones might be spaced out. I got like 4 or 5 cell phones, and I'm like, guys, why do you like doing this every year? When it's almost Thanksgiving, you should start throwing out cell phones. When we asked you to release this early in the year, you didn't. So that's that. Anyway, at this point, I want to say thank you very much.
Oh, next week PS4 Pro will be unboxing. We should
Oh,
probably
yes.
Everyone's going to be unboxing the PS4 Pro.
Yeah,
like everyone.
Yeah, everyone will have that except Juan, because he's still on the PS3.
You should do a reboxing of his PS3.
You should. He's like, I'm putting it back in the box and I'm taking it out again. Because I still like the PS3.
or review the sweet potato upgrade we've been waiting for him to review.
I know, we still need that. We have to wait till April Fool's though.
Yeah.
For no, is this sweet potato or?
He had a potato, but I'm waiting for the upgrade of the sweet potato.
Yeah, that would be on point. All right, guys, thank you very much. Definitely check out all the channels. Check out Mr. Juan Bagnell at Pocket Now, and also his own private channel, Some Gadget Guy, and you can follow him on Some Gadget Guy on Twitter, as well as Mr. Warren Bowman. It's bw1.com on the YouTube channel, as well as Twitter. Follow him and check out all his videos. You can catch Sam, aka Black Iron _man. That is his Twitter handle. His videos are up on the Booredatwork network, as well as myself, Thunder E. But if you want to follow, it's Booredatwork on YouTube and Twitter. Thank you very much, guys, and always enjoy your entertainment.